by DraftKings. Well, the Vikings start their season at home against the 49ers on Sunday. It'll be the first regular season game as a Viking for Kirk Cousins, who signed a monster deal to join Minnesota this offseason. Cousins is leading a team that was just one win away from the Super Bowl last season. So Kirk Cousins in a new division, new team. What do you think?
I expect him to have a big year. Maybe not stat-wise, Skip, because they're going to be able to play from the lead. His defense is outstanding.
Yep.
One of the all-time great third-down defenses in NFL history. They bring everybody back from that unit. Offensively, the talent that he has around him, Stephon Diggs, Adam Thielen, Kyle Rudolph. They get Dalvin Cook back.
Yep.
Latavius Murray is a great backup. But here's the thing, Skip. He'll be judged by one thing. They went to the NFC Championship game last year with Case Keenum. They believe had they had better quarterback play, they would have been representing the NFC in the Super Bowl. They give Kirk Cousins $84 million, fully guaranteed. Anything less than the Super Bowl is failure because he's the only guy, it's the only upgrade they got. The defense comes back. They paid a ton of money to keep these guys long term. Thielen and Diggs. So it's him. It's on his plate. Anything less than the Super Bowl is abject failure. It's as simple as that. Because that's why they went and got it. Because if you could have had Case Keenum for probably $15 million a year, if you believe he could have got you there. But you say, you know what? No, we need a guy that's going to give us better play at that position. And Kirk Cousins, you're that guy. So he must deliver them. They need to be in Atlanta for this season to be a success.
A guy who's under 500 as a starting quarterback of the Washington Redskins. That guy?
He'll be over 500 when it's all said and done. Yeah, this
Well,
year.
how can he not be over 500 with this team?
They loaded.
What?
They loaded.
Come on. So, if I had any guts, I would pick the Vikings to miss the playoffs. And I've thought hard about it, but I just can't get there because of what you just said. They are so loaded everywhere but quarterback that it's hard for me to compute the fact that Kirk Cousins could drag this team that far down to miss the playoffs, even though the NFC, as we know, is pretty stacked in and of itself. But it's hard for me to believe that they won't win this division because we know Aaron Rodgers' team is not loaded. And I'll give you that. They're not loaded. I like his wide receiver core. I don't love the rest of it.
Right.
They got some kids in the secondary. I like most of them, but they're all just kids in the secondary, so I don't know how they're going to perform. The Bears going to be better? Yes, they'll be better.
Didn't the Packers sign Sheldon Richardson?
Yeah.
So they should be a little better.
Really?
Muhammad Wilkins, excuse me.
Muhammad Wilkins, yeah.
Mo.
Yeah. But are you going to buy into,
No.
Okay, you're going to buy into the Bears? You're going to buy into the Lions?
Nope.
They'll both be, like the Lions are going to win 8 games to me. The Bears will be much better, but they got Mitchell Trubisky at quarterback, and I'm not buying that. So back to Kirk Cousins. I'm going to say what I always say about him. He'll have some sensational games, and he will have some head scratchers. And you'll be forced to come in here and say, I don't know what he was doing yesterday. I don't know what he was thinking. He is the classic underconfident overachiever. And when he gets going, he can really get going. And Mike Shanahan loved him coming out of college.
Yes.
He loved him.
Loved him so much that he took a quarterback with the second pick. He ended up taking another one in the third round, fourth round?
Yeah.
I think Kirk Cousins was a third-round pick.
Yeah. Okay, because he loved
Who does that?
He loved Kirk Cousins more than he loved RG3,
He did.
but he got sort of railroaded into trading the sun and the moon for
Well,
RG3.
he wanted Tannehill from where he was sitting.
Okay.
But he was forced to take RG3 and give up everything.
Okay, so all of a sudden, Kirk Cousins, a losing quarterback in Washington, becomes by far the highest paid player in the history of the National Football League. He has now become the most overpaid player in the history of the league, and he has more pressure on him as we speak than any player in this league because of everything you just said. Yeah. Because he has to be it.
Right.
He has to put them over the top into the Super Bowl, right?
Yes.
That's what we're talking about here.
Yes.
It was a Super Bowl or bust kind of move.
Right.
You gave him $28 million a year guaranteed?
He's what, Skip, is as simple as this. What Minnesota did is the equivalent of what the Golden State Warriors. When you got Kevin Durant, you said the reason why we didn't get it done, we needed this guy. Okay, you go get that guy. Anything less than winning the championship for the Warriors that year, Kevin Durant's first year, would have been seen as failure. Anything less than that now, Skip, because you bring that defense and they got all those guys, those Pro Bowlers and all pro guys, and you look at the skill set, you put their skill set with anybody from out to end to backfield.
Yep.
So, like you said, It's on your plate, Kirk. They gave you $28 million per year, fully guaranteed. So no matter what happens, Kirk Cousins gonna get all that cheese. So you got, in Atlanta, in the first week of February, Kirk Cousins, Minnesota Vikings, you need to be there. And I'm not talking about as a spectator. I'm not talking about getting man of the year. I'm talking about having that team in Atlanta.
Yep. So I'm gonna give a silver lining to Packers fans here, because again, I'm a Cowboy fan. My arch rival, Redskins. So I know Kirk Cousins from all the big clashes. These are the biggest games of the year for Dallas and Washington, those two playing. So Packers fans versus the Vikings. You should learn not to fear Kirk Cousins, because he will throw it to you when you need him to throw it to you, because he always threw it to me when I needed it. Because Kirk Cousins, in the biggest games of his year, each time, he went 1-6 versus my Cowboys. 1-6? Kirk Cousins lost all 4 games he played against Dallas in Washington. So he lost to the Cowboys 4 times at home. He lost all 4 times to a young quarterback named Dak Prescott. Really? And he got $28 million because of that? What does that tell you? Those are the games. Those are magnitude games. Those have extra meaning, extra stakes.
It tells me free agency is not about being good. It's about being free.
Yeah, right place, right time.
We've never seen a quarterback come up in his prime and be
right place, right time.
We've never seen a quarterback come up in his prime and be totally free. Normally they have tags. You got to give up a first. Free. And Kirk Cousins was free. And Minnesota said, if we had you last year, we believe we would have went to the Super Bowl. So we didn't have you, but we got you now.
Okay.
And so he needs to deliver for Minnesota for putting all that faith in him.
Okay. So it's funny to me that division boils down to a team in Green Bay that's Aaron Rodgers or bust, basically.
Correct.
And it boils down to a team in Minnesota that could bust because of Kirk Cousins.
Right.
It's everything else is right. Everything in Minnesota, Green Bay doesn't have, except at the quarterback.
Aaron Rodgers basically has to be great every single week. Kirk Cousins does not, because he's so loaded defensively and he has so many more playmakers around him than Aaron Rodgers. If Aaron Rodgers doesn't play great, that defense is going to probably give up 25, 30 points, and they're going to lose.
You're probably right.
The likelihood of Minnesota, now we saw that anomaly in the championship game. It snowballed on them skipping. They couldn't get it back under control. But the likelihood of someone scoring 30 points on that defense is not very good, not very likely. So Kirk Cousins doesn't have to put the pressure on himself, say, you know what, God, I need to get me 350 and 3 or 4 touchdowns, because if I don't, we're going to lose.
Is it possible that defense isn't quite as good as you think it is?
There's a possibility.
It got foldsed.
It might be not as good as it was last year. But they can still rush the passer. They still good on the back end. They still got some Xavier Rose is
studs.
Yeah. So we'll see. We'll see what they're made of.
Well, we'll definitely see what Kirk Cousins is made of or not made of, because the eyes of the NFL world will be on him starting Sunday against the new it kid, Jimmy G. So here we go.
Okay.
Let them lose that game and the sky will fall. And that
Oh, man. Ooh, they better not lose to San Francisco.
Well, guys, it's that time of year. Plenty more football to talk on the show. Who deserves the blame for the Falcons' loss last night? And we'll discuss that with Brian Cox next.